This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab. Les Jackson is normally here, but he's a little bit under the weather. We hope he'll be back soon, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to take you on a ride around the automotive industry. We've got plenty of stories to get to, new vehicles coming out, pricing, some talking tech, and more. So we're going to start this hour with the UK delaying its ban on fossil fuel-powered vehicles. But one manufacturer says, too late, we can't deal with a date change. We'll tell you who that is and why they say it's just too late. And then we're going to talk about Nissan's Kicks. Yep, it's available once again, and it is we'll have the pricing on the 2024 model, and really not a bad price for a small crossover. We'll talk about that and tell you what's available and what some of the changes are. So stay tuned, and we'll get you to that. And then we're going to talk tech. Could the next F-150 have seats in the truck bed? You wonder. I mean, that hasn't been around for a long time, and we wonder, but we'll talk about it. Then another interesting story, and it makes you wonder about the future of connected vehicles. GM's ONSTAR noticed many owners of vehicles, GM vehicles, their tires were low, sent them a message that said, your tires are low, suggest you pump them up to, well, anywhere from 500 pounds per square inch all the way up to 1,000 pounds per square inch. It was kind of an interesting message from the folks at OnStar. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then I'll have an at-the-wheel review of Volvo's Xc60 Recharge Ultimate Dark. Great vehicle, plug-in hybrid, and just something that I think you're going to enjoy hearing about in denim blue. Nice-looking vehicle. And we'll have pricing on that, and I'll give you my opinion of it. And I was quite impressed with it, frankly. Big fan of plug-in hybrids. But this UK ban story is interesting. It's supposed to be in 2030. It's getting moved out to 2035. And we'll talk about that, why they're doing it, and why one manufacturer says, well, that's too late. You know, we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to build internal combustion vehicles in the UK after 2030. That's what we were talking about. So we'll tell you why they're delaying that. And we're also going to tell you, believe it or not, Honda has never really built a V8 until now, but it's not the kind of V8 you're thinking about. It doesn't go in a car, so we'll give you that as a hint, and we will tell you to stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. This is your on-air automotive magazine. Les Jackson is out sick this week, so we wish him a quick recovery. But in the meantime, we're going to bring you all the latest automotive news and information. And we're going to start off the show with the UK government delaying their gasoline car ban to 2035. Now, as you know, many states here in the U.S., starting with California, have talked about this and that they will be doing this. And there's some talk that maybe gas-powered plug-in hybrids with a longer range will still be able to be built after 2035 or 2030, depending on your state. But the UK government felt that they could not have enough electric vehicles built by 2030, so they have extended it 5 years. And Rishi Sunak, who is the prime minister, has announced the ban will be pushed back to 2035. And one manufacturer responded by saying it's too late to delay the EV ban. And that is Ford. And it's interesting. I mean, this ban was initially concocted by Boris Johnson when he was in. That was for 2030, and now it's moved back. But Ford says it's kind of too late. They've already invested around $531 million in UK plants, but that's just the start, and they're planning additional investments designed to hit that 2030 target. Doesn't mean that they'll be too late. They'll kind of be ahead of the game, but I guess they feel that they'll be out of that market of internal combustion engines for that 2030 to 2035 time frame, and that they'll miss out on that kind of business. I guess the question is, will they import internal combustion powered vehicles from other parts of the world to fill that need? Who knows? But it was an interesting response from Ford. And what do you think of the 2030 or 2035 ban on internal combustion engine vehicles? It's not clear, as I said, it's not clear will plug-in hybrids be able to get around that. There's some talk that they will. We don't know. And another factor in this is future battery tech may allow them to travel 150 miles on electric. Right now, average is about 30 miles for a plug-in hybrid before it will start up the engine and become a regular hybrid. So we'll have to see. But I'd like to get your take on it. Shoot us a comment on our YouTube page or our Facebook page. We always like to hear what you like to, what you're thinking about and what you like to hear about. So let's talk about the Nissan Kicks. Nissan Kicks, small crossover, and it is one that's been pretty popular for Nissan because it is quite affordable. And let's talk about it a little bit. It is for 2024. It's going to start at $20,790. Remember, we talked that there are not a lot of vehicles that are sub 20,000 anymore, but at least this one comes close. I believe the Nissan Versa might start under 20,000, but they all climb up pretty quickly. For 2024, the Nissan SV and SR now include Nissan Connect Services Plus, which brings in a lot of nice features like a Wi-Fi hotspot as standard, and it includes Nissan Connect services now include a 3-year trial. So it works with an app, My Nissan smartphone app on equipped vehicles that includes things like remote door unlock and lock, remote engine start stop, and vehicle health report and emergency calling. After that 3-year trial, I don't know what the cost is, but I guess by that time you'll figure if you think it's worth it or not. You get 3 different grades. You get the S, the SV, and the SR. The SR, I believe, has that cool feature where it has the speakers in the head restraint. So that is kind of a cool feature. Mileage is not too bad. And the ratings are up, 31 city, 36 highway, and 33 combined. The SV includes 17-inch alloy wheels, intelligent cruise control, 7-inch advanced drive assist display, remote engine start, Nissan Connect, and an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. The SR grade includes the crossover's appearance package with black painted mirrors and roof rails, dark chrome front grille, and a roof-mounted spoiler. And the Kicks SR also adds LED headlights and fog lights and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. S starts at $20,790, SV $22,650, and Kicks SR $23,350. You can get some options like premium paint and two-tone paint, and still it's a good deal. Nissan Kicks. Hey, Fred Staab, I will be right back with more on Cruise Control. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Don't forget to check us out on our YouTube page and our Facebook page and more. We're all over social media. Drop us a line about a story you'd like us to cover or perhaps a vehicle you'd like us to review, and we will talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about the RAV4, very popular vehicle, one of the most popular hybrid vehicles out there. And for 2024, it's basically a carryover year, except for something they call the 2024 Woodland Edition that is kind of, I would say, their toughened up model of the RAV4. As we always tell you here on Cruise Control, a lot of there's been that trend of manufacturers making their vehicles a little bit higher, maybe a little bit more aggressive wheels, a little bit more aggressive tires, kind of a toughened up look. And that's what the 2024 Woodland Edition of the Toyota RAV4 is. It adds a standard activity mount to handle extra cargo. Basically, an activity mount used to be called a trailer hitch, but people use it now for carrying bikes and all kinds of things. So that's what an activity mount is. And then the new optional weather package with heated front seats and rain-sensing wipers, which is a good idea. Electronic on-demand all-wheel drive with standard trail mode to manage traction when off the beaten path. A two-tone army green color combinations for Woodland Edition, Adventure, and TRD off-road grades. And they also get the latest upgrade and generation of the Toyota Audio Multimedia and TSS 2.5 standard. I'm glad to see them upgrading their infotainment and multimedia. I always thought that Toyota should have a better system, so I'm anxious to try it out. Yeah, it's an 1.25 inch activity mount, basically a hitch. It's a little bit smaller than the traditional hitch. And the Woodland Edition has some aggressive rubber on it. It's hybrid. It is a hybrid edition. And it, I believe, is raised about an inch from the standard models. So if you enjoy that tougher look, whether you off-road it or not, it might be something for you. It's interesting. The RAV4 is supposed to get a completely different look, a brand new RAV4 in 2025. There was some talk that some people thought it was coming out in 2024, but this model's been around since 2019. So the length of a model is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But this is a super popular model, and I'm sure they want to keep it up to date. And talking about up to date, for 2024, the RAV4 will feature the latest Toyota audio multimedia system. It's built in Texas by the Texas Connected Team. You will have a connected service drive, connect trial or subscription, cloud navigation and destination assist with intelligent assist. It's true, Toyota basically makes you subscribe for navigation, for cloud navigation. Some other manufacturers are taking a different tack. They're using Google built in. GM is one of those. Volvo is another, where it's Google Maps is in there, but Toyota's taking a different tack. The Toyota Audio Media System allows for dual Bluetooth phone connectivity with standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is great. And the RAV4 has an available Wi-Fi Connect trial or subscription that offers 4G connectivity for up to 5 devices. So it turns your car into a hotspot. HD radio, Sirius XM Platinum plan. You get a 3-month subscription to that, or a 3-month trial subscription. And 3 different sound systems that you can get. 11-speaker JBL premium sound is the top of the line. So kind of an upgrade there for the RAV4. And, of course, it's going to get completely upgraded next year. The hybrid version of the RAV4 is just an excellent vehicle. It really is. I mean, it gets great mileage, yet you have great utility. You have the all-wheel drive. So I'm anxious to kind of drive this Woodland Edition. I do like the look of it. I do like the gold wheels and the little bit tougher look. I think it's pretty cool. But think of the range of the RAV4. You can get the RAV4 Prime, which is literally a hot rod in SUV's clothing, and it also gets great economy too and all electric range. Look for that range to get even bigger, as we were talking about, as new batteries come out. So there you have it, the Woodland Edition of the RAV4, and that is going to be available soon at dealers near you. Let's talk tech. And this is interesting. We'll probably talk a little bit more about this after the break. But Ford Authority had an interesting article, FordAuthority.com, had an interesting article about a patent, an applied patent for seats, kind of jump seats, in the back of what looks like an F-150 or potentially even an SUV, but it's shown as sort of a convertible. And I'm not quite sure how this would work safety-wise, but they're literally jump seats in the bed of a pickup truck. There's no head restraint. You're sitting sideways, and the top of your body is above the body line. So obviously, this can't be something that you would ride along the highway in, because it certainly would not be very safe. But it is a patent for a seating system for a stationary vehicle. So somehow these seats would probably not be available, or if the vehicle was in motion, it would not probably lock down or let you sit in it, I would imagine. So that's probably the big part of the patent system. It's not like the old days, if you remember the Brat, where they had 2 seats facing backwards, and they had seat belts and a roll bar, and that's not going to be allowed. I mean, states have moved along from there, but interesting to see what happens with this. Frankly, my take on it, depending on how tightly they fold up into the bed, I think it's more of a pain than what it's worth, because it's going to take up storage room. So I don't know. And there's going to have to be some fairly sophisticated method of locking those seats out when the vehicle is in motion, so no one sits back there, because, as I said, that's illegal in many states. And if a manufacturer puts seats back there, you know what people are going to say. Well, there's seats back there. The manufacturer put them there, so why can't I sit there when I drive around? So plenty more coming up on Cruise Control Radio. We're going to talk about GM's OnStar system sending strange messages to people that their tires were low and they better add 500 to 1,000 pounds of air to a tire, which I believe, like a standard tire, if you put 100 pounds in it, it would probably explode. Some tractor-trailer tires take 100 pounds, but certainly not a tire on a passenger vehicle. So that was kind of a strange situation this week. Also, we're going to talk about Hyundai giving away chargers if you buy certain electric vehicles, a level 2 charger, and actually include some money in there if you lease a vehicle. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to have an at-the-wheel review of the XC60 Recharge Ultimate Dark Edition from Volvo. plug-in hybrid with 455 horsepower, which is not too bad. Nothing to sneeze at there. That is quite the horsepower machine. And this one had a black interior, which is kind of unusual for Volvo. It's not really that Scandinavian light tan or beige look. So it made it a very luxurious looking vehicle. We'll talk about that on Cruise Control and have a full at the wheel review. All of that is coming up. As I said, check out our YouTube page. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out our Facebook page and more. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. We will be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab here. Normally Les Jackson be with me. He's a little under the weather, so we wish him well on that and get back on air real soon. Let's talk a little bit about what could potentially be a good deal if you are thinking about buying certain Hyundai vehicles, including the Ioniq 5 SUV and the Ioniq 6 sedan or the Kona Electric. If you sign for one between today and October 31st, you will receive a free ChargePoint Home Flex Level 2 home charger, so Level 2, capable of dispensing up to 12 kilowatts of DC charging through its J1772 plug. And you also get a $600 credit towards installation arranged through Hyundai Home Marketplace. It's valid for up to 90 days. To do this, you have to lease or finance a qualified Hyundai EV model through Hyundai Motor Finance between September 21st and October 31st, 2023. So if that's what you're planning on doing, we just want to make you aware of that Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, or the Kona Electric, it's for the 2023 or 2024 Ioniq 5, the 2023 through 2024 Ioniq 6, or the Kona Electric for 2023. And you have to either lease it or finance it through Hyundai Motor Finance. So if that's something you like, it's something to think about, and it could be a good deal for you. Over to the SEMA show. Now, of course, SEMA is a Specialty Equipment Marketing Association. As I always like to say, it is the most generic name for one of the coolest shows out there. But obviously, it is a hot rod show, all the aftermarket goodies and custom cars. New this year, the show's coming up in November, the SEMA Future Tech Studio, a new exhibit at the 2023 SEMA show, will let attendees at the world's leading automotive trade show an opportunity to learn about what the future vehicle propulsion system may look like. It's going to be located in the Central Hall, and it is interesting to me to see, will we see more EV crate motors? Because we can call it a crate motor. It's actually a crate motor. Will we see a lot more companies offering systems to kind of change over classic cars to electric power in a non-destructive way? Meaning that if it has a manual transmission, you can bolt up an electric motor to it and mount batteries in a way that you're not drilling holes through it and damaging it. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting material there, and we'll see. The Future Tech Studio will help attendees understand what's happening in the industry and how the industry is already pushing a creative envelope with new innovations, parts, and services, says Luis Morales, SEMA Director of Vehicle Technology. So interesting to me. And yeah, I mean, imagine a 32 Ford Roadster with an electric powertrain and an electronic all-wheel drive. Wouldn't that be cool? We don't know. We'll see what's happening. But that SEMA show actually is coming up October 31st to November 3rd. I remember going to the SEMA show and flying out to it on Halloween, and it was always a little bit unnerving to see the pilot of the plane in a costume. It was just something about that. It's like, yeah, why don't you stick to the uniform? I think that might be better. But I remember seeing that going out to the SEMA show. So, and another thing, just while we're on the topic of SEMA, Specialty Automotive Aftermarket supports more than 1 million American jobs and 100 billion in wages and benefits. So it is a huge, huge industry, and it's everything from wheels and tires to custom body panels to custom engine parts and pieces, everything. So quite a show. Unfortunately, the general population can't get in, but if you ever are out in Las Vegas during the SEMA show, there is quite the car show out front of the convention center, and anyone can walk in there and look around. And frankly, it would be one of the best free car shows you'd ever see in your life. It is wonderful. You don't need a pass to get in there and check out the cars outside, and there's hundreds of them. So that's my tip to you. If you find yourself in Las Vegas and you're looking for a car-oriented thing to do, that might be for you. Let's talk about a future BMW. It was announced this week that the BMW 550e xDrive plug-in hybrid is coming to the U.S. in 2024. It won't be cheap, though, and that seems to be a trend in the automotive industry. It won't be cheap. BMW has confirmed pricing for the 5 Series plug-in hybrid, and it will be the 550e xDrive, and they're talking a price tag of $73,800. There's no information on the all-electric range, but it will be powered by a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, no stranger to BMW drivetrains, and an electric motor. Combined, the two will output 483 horsepower, which is pretty stout. There will be a 19.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack housed within the underbody, and they're going to keep the center of gravity low. So that will be quite a machine, and of course, it won't be cheap, but that's okay. Let's talk about a vehicle from Mazda, the CX-30. Here's a vehicle that's a little bit more affordable, one of their popular crossovers. And what's new for 2024? They're talking about a 2.5 carbon turbo with refined turbocharged performance, a newly available 10.25 infotainment display that features wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and touchscreen functionality. Once again, we were talking about Toyota being a little behind on the infotainment. Mazda has always had a system that, in my mind, was less than intuitive for infotainment and kind of hard to tune. And I think this is a welcomed addition, a new infotainment system, and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Hey, if you haven't used them, that is the way to go. It is really, really incredible. Yes, the CX-30 2.5S will be returning. The CX-30 2.5S Select Sport, the S Preferred, the Carbon Edition, which gets a polymer gray exterior paint and complemented with red leather seats. Very, very cool. The Premium, the Carbon Turbo. The Carbon Turbo 4-cylinder produces 250 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. The Turbo Premium and the Turbo Premium Plus. So that is a ton of models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different trims. And they range in price from the CX-30 2.5S, $24,995, all the way up to the 2.5 Turbo Premium Plus at $36,800. Quite a range. That Carbon Edition is $29,790, and the Carbon Turbo is $32,790. Of course, you want to know about the Soul Red Crystal Metallic. Everyone loves that. It's got that almost candy apple red look. $595 for that. Machine Gray Metallic, $595. Poly Metal Gray Metallic, $450. Snowflake White Pearl Mica, $450. And Ceramic Metallic, $450. If you haven't shopped for a car in a long time, it's a pretty common thing now to pay extra for colors of paint. I know we're going to review this Volvo in a moment, and they're one manufacturer. Basically, it comes in black or white, and all the other colors are extra, about $500 extra, maybe more in certain cases. And this has become a pretty standard situation. Now, it started when manufacturers started to use tinted clear coat and things like that. There was extra work involved, but now it's become pretty standard across the board to have additional upcharges for upscale paint or more involved painting process. So it's just something to think about when you go out and you look at a vehicle and you say, wow, I like that metallic red, and you find out there's an upcharge of $595 for it. Hey, when we come back, we are going to talk about this car. Yes, the Xc60 Recharge plug-in hybrid from the folks at Volvo. Stay tuned. So we wanted to tell you about the first V8 that Honda has made, and it comes from Honda Marine. It's called the BF350. Is the first V8 outboard engine for a boat. It is a 5-liter V8, which is incredible. Fuel injected, of course. It has VTEC, variable valve timing, and lift. And I don't know what this weighs, but I would imagine it is. I would imagine it is quite hefty. And they showed one of these things, one boat with two of these on the back. So you think about the weight. 350 horsepower, and that's if you're running 86 octane unleaded gasoline. And that's 350 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. What a machine this is. It's almost like mounting a Coyote V8 on the back of your boat. And some people are mounting two of them. So there you have it. Honda's first V8, but it's not for cars.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab with you this week. Les is under the weather a bit, so we wish him well, and he gets back soon. We've got an at-the-wheel review. We love doing at-the-wheel reviews for you of all the vehicles. Honest, real-world report, what we thought of it. And this time, it is from Volvo. It is the X60 Recharge Ultimate Dark, which is a lot to say. The XC60, it is a crossover, although, their crossovers are more like a high station wagon, I would say. Beautifully colored in denim blue. This is a plug-in hybrid, 455 horsepower, and it does that in a very smooth, with a very smooth 4-cylinder engine and a 143 electric horsepower motor. The two of them together come up to about 455 horsepower. It also can achieve 35 miles of fully electric travel in what they call the pure mode. And one thing about this vehicle, the charger, it really can only take up to a level 2 charger. It's not going to take a high-speed charger, but that's okay because even with charging it overnight, you can fill that battery up, even with a regular 110 volts. So really, there's no need to go to a charging station or to even install something special in your house. What's new for 2023 is that the whole Volvo USA lineup is hybrid or electric, and that is big news. And they all have Google built in, which when I got this vehicle, it was one of the first that had Google built in, and they actually had a little card to explain what that was. Basically, it means you don't really have to connect your phone to get Google Maps. It's built in, and it is a hotspot in the car that allows it to connect and do Google Maps, and it's right there, like the built-in navigation system. And all the other benefits of Google are right there. You don't have to connect your Android phone. It still does allow you to connect your Apple phone, but it negates the need to connect your Android phone. You can still connect for Bluetooth and things like that for calling. But we are also going to see Google built in GM cars as well. So that's on the way and will just be something we'll be talking a lot more on Cruise Control. But as I said, beautiful vehicle. The denim blue, exciting. This is the Ultimate, which is the top of the range look, and dark, which means they darken up some of the exterior features like the grille and mirror tops and things like that. You can actually get another level called black, which blacks out even more of the exterior and gives you black wheels. But we had 20-inch 6-spoke diamond cut alloy wheels. Very, very aerodynamic looking, by the way. I thought this vehicle looked extremely clean on the outside. There's no cladding. There's no wheel arch lips. There's nothing hanging on it or around it. You can get, by the way, running boards for this as an option, but ours did not have that. But overall, just a very clean look. Loved the denim blue and really enjoyed the clean lines of the vehicle. Of course, it has those tall taillights that have been around on Volvos since the early 90s. On the inside, this was unusual too. Black leather and really nicely bolstered seats and soft leather, ventilated seats, heated seats up front, and some nice wood trim on the dash. Completely different feel for a Volvo. Normally it has that kind of Scandinavian light tan look on the inside. I kind of like this. I do like a black interior. Of course, it had the crystal shifter, as many of their vehicles do, and you do start it with the twist knob, as many other Volvos. Great touchscreen, very responsive. You can control HVAC. You get Apple CarPlay to connect, although Google is built in. Love the wood trim with a little bit of chrome in between it. Very classy, very nice looking. Out back, good room for rear passengers. Ours had the climate package, but it did not have the upgraded climate package that would add more control for rear seat passengers. Basically, they get some USB plug-ins and 3 levels of rear seat heating. If you go for the higher package on the climate, you will get more controls back there. Beautiful interior, high-end material, soft seats, great adjustability, great bolstering. It was a hit. Out back, they've paid plenty of attention to detail. Ours had the air suspension, so you can raise and lower the vehicle for loading. But great job out in the back of the vehicle. You got a small pass-through for skis or something like that. And everything was nicely finished off. There is no spare, so basically you have a little storage area for the charger, which I said plugs into the 110-volt socket in your house and will charge that battery and give you about 33 miles of electric range, 35 miles of electric range, just by plugging into the wall. So no super high-speed charging available. Under the highly raised hood, which seems to be a standard situation, we have our 4-cylinder gas engine and then the hybrid system. As I said, 455 horsepower, 312 from the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 143 from the electric motor, and just a clean looking vehicle. One you'd be happy to drive, great family vehicle. It just feels premium. But the price is up there too. So let's kind of run down what we had. We had the Ultimate, which is the highest level trim, the T8 with E all-wheel drive, which means there's no drive shaft going to the extra set of drive wheels. Charcoal ventilated Napa leather. We had the Climate package for $750 extra that gave heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, and heated headlight cleaners. We popped for the Bowers & Wilkins premium sound system. That was a beefy $3,200. Active air suspension, $1,800. Power-operated tailgate, $200. You also get a Volvo on-call button and Volvo Cars apps button. And 3 years of Volvo service plan, right? You get that portable charger, which is 120 or 240 volt. And let's talk the total price, all in, was $73,800, and then the destination fee of $1,195 for a total of $74,995. I have to say, this vehicle drove extremely well. There was no lag in the drivetrain, and at 455 horsepower, it was quite powerful. It really was a pleasure to drive. Some of the best seats I've ever experienced in a vehicle. As I say, the adjustability, the softness of the seat, the comfort of the seat, great screen, navigation screen. And overall, like I say, I like the clean look of the vehicle. Very clean looking, great color, denim blue, nice aerodynamic wheels. They've done a great job, and it's a premium price, but it does feel like a premium vehicle. Plus, it is a great plug-in hybrid with decent range, 33 miles. And as we talked about earlier, look for that range to go up in the future as battery technology gets even better. I would imagine 100 miles, 150 miles maybe in the future. But we hope you've enjoyed this At the Wheel review of the XC60 Ultimate Dark Recharge. If you like cruise control, don't forget to check us out on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. We'll see you down the road.